Hello, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Rail Rangers on the Road. Every month, the Midwest Rail Rangers take you to an interesting and unique railroad destination across the Midwest, including places in Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, Minnesota, Missouri, and Wisconsin. The Midwest Rail Rangers, a 501c3 nonprofit, was founded in 2015 to provide onboard educational programs across the Midwest. Perhaps you have caught us on select weekends on the South Shore Line between Chicago and South Bend, Indiana. On private rail excursions featuring dome cars and other heritage rail equipment. Amtrak charters and motor coach trips organized by the 20th Century Railroad Club of Chicago. Open house events at the Wisconsin Great Northern Railroad featuring the Sky Parlor car and the Mark Twain Zephyr. And at various outreach events, such as Train Fest in Milwaukee and Mad City Rail in Madison, Wisconsin. And now, mark your calendar for the first Sunday night of every month at 7 p.m. Central Time for Rail Rangers on the Road. Without further ado, here is this month's program. Well, hello and welcome to another Rail Rangers on the Road programming.
Really? Again?
This is a whole month before I do that once a month.
Oh my gosh.
Hi, thank you for joining us. I am Executive Director and President of the Midwest Rail Rangers, Robert Tabor, and also host of the Rail Rangers on the Road segments that we do once a month.
And I'm Candace Tabor, and your educational officer.
Yeah, and it is Sunday, March 5th, 2023, and as promised, we are back for a fourth time at the North Shore Scenic Railroad and Lake Superior Railroad Museum.
That's right.
I think we did two programs in 2021 where we took a ride on the Short Dome, their Duluth effort trip.
That's right.
And then we did a separate one just about the museum at the North Shore Scenic Railroad.
And now?
Well, no, back in January,
Oh,
just 2 months ago, we did a ride on their the Short Dome.
The two harbors.
Our two harbors turn, where we rode up to two harbors, and then so that was in January. And last month we were up at the Quincy Mine, up in the Upper Peninsula. And now here we are, March 2023. We are gonna. What are we gonna do today? I don't even know. What are we gonna do? You arranged this whole thing.
Oh, I think we might be going on a dome ride again.
A dome ride? Are we gonna go on the short dome that we took them on? No, we're not gonna do that. We don't really repeat our trips.
Sometimes, but we're gonna go on the big dome,
which is Skyview, the dome that the Lake Superior Railroad Museum and the North Shore Scenic Railroad, they acquired it in mid part of 2021. So about just under 2 years ago, they acquired Skyview, which was kind of funny because that was one of the dome cars that the Rail Rangers did a lot of our trips on. We rode this one. We did a trip to Hannibal on this one, and then this was the dome car that we used. Looking back at our pictures, back in August of 2017, when we had we ran a trip with Mike Abernathy's Zephyr Route Tours.
That's right.
And we could throw up some pictures here maybe while we talk about this. But we took everybody on the back of the Southwest Chief on Skyview all the way from Chicago to La Plata, Missouri. And then we rode a bus down to a private horse farm that a friend of mine owned, and that was right in the zone of the total solar eclipse in 2017. And it was really cool, and it sold out. The whole dome sold out. The 60 seats sold out within just hours after an article appeared in the Chicago Tribune. So we had a really good. That's probably one of my favorite trips.
That was a great trip. We always have great fun when we're with Mike.
Yeah, and there's another.
Any of our partners.
Yeah, and then there's another solar eclipse coming up next year. I don't know if that's in June of 2024, but there is a solar eclipse coming up next year. So I don't know if we'll plan another trip. But anyway, it's kind of cool that they own it and it's only about 2 hours away from our headquarters in Barron, Wisconsin now.
Will be a lot.
It moved to the Northwoods too, just like we did about 3.5 years ago. But anyway, so yeah, the full dome sky view is now up here at the North Shore Scenic Railroad after it was acquired from Iowa Pacific through their bankruptcy back in 2021. So they run it on their Duluth Zephyr trips. So we have our tickets right here. Yeah, and
Not one ride.
no, we're gonna take you on 2 rides.
2 rides.
Yeah, we're gonna take you on 2 rides and show you their acquisition of Skyview. But before we get ready to board, the executive director of the North Shore Scenic Railroad and Lake Superior Railroad Museum, and all-around good guy, Ken Bueller, is going to tell us a little bit more about the car before we take off. Ken?
We're going to show you the biggest, newest to us piece of working history on the North Shore Scenic Railroad. And it's right behind me. It's right here. It is huge. But before we get to it, let me tell you a little story. Henry Bessemer in 1856, an English inventor, came up with a way to take pig iron and make it into a much harder, more solid substance called steel. And what he did was he blew oxygen in through molten iron ore, and he came up with what was known as carbon steel. It was strong, it was durable, but you know what? It rusted. There was a better material. It was called aluminum. It was easier to work with. It never rusted or corroded. It has this beautiful look to it. It's shiny, but you know what it doesn't do? Weld. You can weld carbon steel, but you can't weld aluminum as easily. It took Edward Budd to come up with a way to use TIG, or tungsten igneous gas, to weld aluminum. And when he did that, he was able to make everything from automobile parts to, oh, I don't know, entire train cars, like this Budd full-length dome. Now, dome cars were all the rage in the late 1950s. They were the savior for the passenger rail industry. Everybody wanted to ride up there under the glass. And man, was it beautiful. 360-degree panoramic view of the countryside that you were going through, and you sat way up on top and you could see for miles and miles. It was like flying at treetop level. They made 236 of the short dome cars, but these big ones, these mainline dome cars, they only made 30. Budd made 20, and the Pullman Company of Pullman, Illinois added 10 more to the mix. We've got one of the 20 that Budd built. There's only about 22, 23 of these cars running yet today anywhere in the world, and one of them is on the North Shore Scenic Railroad. Let's go inside. Imagine it's 1955. You've got a first-class ticket on the Santa Fe Railroad's San Francisco Chief, all the way to San Francisco. And yeah, you could be in coach. That'd be all right. It's a beautiful journey. But imagine seeing the beautiful deserts and mountains, not from a coach seat, but from up here in the dome. Number 551 was the dome car, and we have it here at the North Shore Scenic Railroad. Originally ordered in 1953, it made service in 1954, and it was on the Santa Fe Railway. Up here, you could sit back, relax, enjoy first-class service, and see the beautiful countryside going by your window. You had a catbird seat for this. Ah, what it must have been like. Well, happens to be like that all over again at the North Shore Scenic Railroad, because this car is the newest piece of our collection here at the Lake Superior Railroad Museum in Duluth. And we use it every single day on our North Shore Scenic Railroad. 3 times a day, as a matter of fact, on our Duluth Zephyr. Imagine riding up here, enjoying that first-class service that made this car famous back in the day. All recreated. You know, we just don't remember the golden age of railroading. It's back. This car is not just a piece of working history, it has quite a colorful history. It was ordered from the Budd Car Company in 1953 and arrives on the Santa Fe in 1954. Of the 20 full-length dome cars that Budd built, most of them were taken by the Santa Fe on the original order, and it was immediately put to use. And it was an immediate success, as you can see. The car spends its time on the Santa Fe Railway, both from the San Francisco Chief and then also to later the Texas Chief. In 1971, that's when Amtrak is formed, and the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railway gets out of the passenger car business. And their Santa Fe fleet pretty much goes to Amtrak with the exception of these giant dome cars that, by the way, they called the Big Dome. They couldn't reach a deal with Amtrak to value the cars, so instead they sold them to an upstart, a private company called Autotrain that took you and your car from just outside Washington, D.C. down to Sanford, Florida. And they converted it a little bit, removed some of the seats to make it a little more luxurious, and ran it on the Autotrain. But in 1981, the Autotrain went bankrupt. It's still run today by Amtrak, but the private owners couldn't keep it going. So it was acquired by the C.C. Potter Company of Cincinnati, Ohio, after the Autotrain bankruptcy, and was used for a period of time for a tour called Golden Arrows out of Chicago. And then an interesting thing happens. The car disappears. Nobody knows where it is. West Tours wants to buy the car, wants to buy all of them, and use them for excursion service in Alaska for cruise lines, but they can't find the car. From 1985 to 1987, it's just gone missing. It finally is located, stored in a roundhouse of the Wisconsin and Calumet Railway in Janesville, Wisconsin. And they named the company that they had Passenger Car Associates Incorporated. And they really didn't do much with it, and that's why the car went missing. In 1993, though, the car is returned and now goes to Oregon, where it is rebuilt. And listen to this. The year is 1993. The car is rebuilt, and the cost for that, $781,000 just to rebuild it. You can imagine how much these things are worth. Let's take a look downstairs, and I'll show you the rest of the car. It goes to Alaska, where it's used on the Alaskan cruise lines, and runs up from Fairbanks into Alaska, and it's very popular. In fact, they're still running dome cars up there today on this service, but not these. These cars were retired, and you know what the owners say? They had brand new ones built for the cruise service by Colorado Car Company, but they say these were much better, much more luxurious, and rode much better. Here we have a little pantry area and a downstairs dining area. This car comes complete with everything. Not only a pantry, a bar upstairs, but it also has its very own galley. And everything on the car is fully functional. That's right. All of the refrigeration, the ovens, the stovetop, everything fully functional. And we use it today on our dinner trains, on our murder mystery trains. We'll also be running it on our Famous Dave's barbecue trains, and you get to ride along on each and every one of these routes. Go to DuluthTrains.com. Look up first class service. You know, it's first class under the glass, and you get a first class ride on the North Shore Scenic Railroad. Life is indeed better in a dome. Under the glass, it's first class. When you're on a train with the North Shore Scenic Railroad, your satisfaction is our #1 job.
doorway. He says we will be calling you by gate in order that you check in with the ticket office this morning. So if you have your remaining orange tickets, you are going to be ready to go once we start boarding.
I just got to add here back up. We're going to be calling everybody by name from that lot.
Oh, there we go.
How are we doing, Mr. Saber?
Hey, how are you? Gotta support you here.
Well, I see you love our dome prize.
Yes.
You're going to get boarding our train, and as a reminder, you do not need to line up. You will be boarded in order you check in with the ticket office. We're going to begin today with our orange tickets. These are first class passengers, starting with the Tavern Party of 2, the Frank Party of 4,
Yeah?
and the Steve
We're on the next one too. 1 o'clock too.
Party of 2, and the Party of 4.
Lots of beer selection.
First class. All right.
They're on the next ride also, so you can have all my tickets.
We're on the 1 o'clock too.
So do you have a ticket? There's 2 there. Oh! Hi.
It's early.
Thank you guys.
Thanks.
Oh, they're not on the inside, so
That's fine.
down here or down there?
Let's go down. With a horseshoe? Yes. Is that where we're sitting?
This is where we're sitting.
Alright.
This is our spot.
King of the Dome.
Dome, the dome, dome,
Yeah.
dome.
Alright. Next spot.
This is our spot.
Alright. Alright, and we're on, and we are rolling. So here you always go forward,
Well, I'm going backwards.
You're
right
going
now,
backwards
but
right
I'll
now.
be going forward.
but our viewers are going forward. And so we pull out of the station. And I guess that's the way the trains did it back in the day. So you get your depot over there. Yeah, we're just out there. And And then there's some of the cars where we just filmed our introduction before Ken showed us around the car. So it gives you something to do if you've never been out here waiting for your train. They do have that nice museum. You can go back to 2021 and watch our program from there where we showed you around. So and there's Interstate 35, which begins here and goes 1,500 miles down to the Gulf of Mexico.
Sir, can you put your elbow in? Sir, can you put your knee in?
We got the curved horseshoe booths, which we like because of the lots of space. And then you get your drink.
You get 2 drinks.
What did you order?
I ordered a raspberry tea.
Oh, what did you get for me?
You got the mango blonde.
Oh, try some local breweries while you're here.
Itself houses 4 different museums, including the Lake Superior Railroad.
Well, they got nice napkins.
County Historical Society, the Art Institute, and Veterans
Wow.
all included in the same admission.
Your today's experience. We're talking about points of interest on both the lakeside and land side of the train. This will become obvious in just a few minutes.
As you may have noticed, we are currently backing up. When Interstate 35, running parallel to the track, was built about 30 years ago, we changed out the roads original routes to the North Shore. So now we back out of the historic depot to the spot where we can switch tracks. We will then be on the other side of the freeway and travel up the lakefront line.
On board our train today, we have several friendly staff and crew members. They'll make your journey as pleasant as possible. In our concession area today, we can help you get your stomachs full with snack items, candy and chips, and your mouth wet with a variety of soda, juices, water, and various.
So we're gonna go down and then out on that track in a minute here. You see a little bit of Lake Superior. So what do you think so far of our trip in January we did with the short dome and the long dome? A lot of people like the short domes, but what do you think?
This is nice because there's more space. You know, people can actually spread out the needle.
So you like the longer domes better?
I think so.
Oh, there's your drink. And my drink, I got trying the local lift bridge mango blonde, trying one of the local beers, which you just had a sip of.
Yes. I'm not a beer.
You're not a beer drinker, that's alright. So now we're gonna switch ahead and go on this track. They explained when they put the interstate in the 70s, it messed up kind of the tracks. So we have to do this backup maneuver, and then we're gonna go out on that track, which they do on all the excursions pretty much, unless they're gonna go. Yeah. Oh, what do we have here? So what's in there?
It looks like some crackers and olive
Oh.
and some salami.
Ah. So there's the guy who could be switching. So the interstate kind of messed this up. So now the one time we did go south out of here without backing up is we did the 261 excursion back to Minneapolis. And there you just go out and over through the yards on the bridge. I don't know if you remember that. That was almost 10 years ago now. Over 10 years ago. There's Candace, she's staring at other people eating. You can see up the hill. Kind of cool with the dome car, so you get the view. You can see the hotel or apartment building or whatever that is. Or you can look up and see the sky. View is a lot nicer.
Partially tinted, so
Oh, yeah, you can kind of see that in the video. The sun's not totally in your eye. Start backing now. Well, forward for you, backwards for us.
That's right.
It's on the old platform. Maybe.
Outdoor
Superior.
Look out onto the lake and see red buoy that marks the spot where the engine to its original outer harbor breakwater was built in 1868. And this was not an ideal place for a harbor, since there was little protection from the harsh waves and wind that come off the lake. Today, the buoy marks the right side of the shipping channel, preventing boats from wandering to the area where many of structures of the old outer harbor remain.
I know.
I was eating.
Yeah, you're always eating, aren't you? Candace loves to eat.
They do it in a way where they have one
After Prohibition to reopen in 1933, and the fun started all over again.
That's
Well,
right.
you're hungry.
And Victor's about 100,000 barrels a year in the 1930s. Doors in the Victor's brewery was finally closed in 1972, ending 115 years of brewing. That was renovated and reopened in 1994.
There's no cabbage there.
The 88-room hotel, eventually adding shopping, dining, brewery, and other entertainment. Today, Victor's is a great place to visit one night.
Yeah, we threw our kids from the train.
You know what? I thought of doing that.
Now, parallel to us on the right side of the train is Interstate 35. It begins at 26th Avenue. It just flies up Warm Valley and ends all the way down to Fresno, Texas. 1,595 miles length at the U.S. Mexico border. Back here, Pluto.
reached the, hi,
Hi.
wake up. We reached the end of the line, so we're the lakeside siding.
Choo-choo's leaving us.
Uh-oh.
The other way, keep going around, you'll see it.
So we're at, well, it's about 50 blocks from downtown. So on these short trips, it's only about an hour, 15-minute trip. They go out about half an hour, switch the engine around for 15 minutes, and then just about half hour back on the short runs where the big domes are located. So, and what are they doing now?
They're doing the runaround.
So what is that? You give me a lot of runaround all the time.
No. They're taking the engine and they're gonna put it on the track next to us and run it around.
So you can watch out the dome and look.
Go take them up to the front.
Sure. Yeah. That sounds like they're gonna get us another drink here when we're halfway through the trip. You're going backwards. All right.
I'm going forwards.
So yeah, about 30 minutes this way, about 15-minute turnaround, 30 minutes that way. So yeah, if you want a little longer ride, you can do what we did in January back in Two Harbors, but you don't get the full dome, which is the reason why we're doing this trip. So yeah, enjoy the ride back too. So you see we're at 45th Street, and we're kind of right downtown at like 3rd Street, so you kind of do the math, you figure it's about 50 blocks or so. So not real long, but it's a nice train ride for kids, and a little view along the lake. So the time it takes to do the Two Harbors turn, the 6 hours, they run 3 of these normally on the schedule as of when we're taping this. So they do 11 a.m., 1 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. So you can ride.
That's right, Stanley. Prospectors, explorers, and entrepreneurs, including traveling salesmen, interested in exciting prospects of the Northwoods, get to travel long and dangerous routes that might be river chain or on one of those back over the trail.
Division rail line became known as the Lakeville line. In addition
So
to
do you like the longer ride, the Two Harbors, or you like the shorter?
I guess maybe I like the longer ride.
The longer?
You see more.
This is too short.
No,
Almost.
it's not too short. It's just all the way to Two Harbors. It's more scenery.
Yeah.
The Disney show that you said on TV? They showed the castle. And you wanted the mangoes?
view off the back of the train. So now what are we doing? We're coming back into the station, huh?
R&D.
So what'd you think of your ride in the Santa Fe Big Dome?
It's fun.
Do it again?
Yeah. Nice light little snack and a little
Yeah.
cheesecake dessert.
Oh.
Just right.
Where did the cheesecake dessert go? I didn't even see that. Oh, wow, really?
You ate yours though.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No. What are you doing?
Get where I can see.
Coming back into the station? On behalf of the Midwest Rail Rangers, thank you so much for joining us for this program. Here's a look at the next program. Make sure you mark your calendar for this, and we look forward to seeing you then. In the meanwhile, if you're planning an Amtrak trip, don't forget about one of our exciting and interesting rail route guides. For more information, go to www.railrangers.org. That's www.railrangers.org, and click on the Rail Rangers store. There are plenty of options for both local and long-distance rail route guides, in traditional book format, PDF ebook, and even MP3 podcasts. Until we gather together next month, the first Sunday of every month at 7 p.m. Central Time, we hope you have a great week and a great month ahead, and come out and join us on one of our onboard educational programs. For a listing of our in-person programs, go to our website. Again, that's www.railrangers.org, and click on upcoming events. Until next month, we'll see you then.